This lesson is on circumference, but before we get into circumference, I want to review the circle itself. Here is a circle right here, and there's some vocabulary words that you need to know to be successful in this unit with circles. So the very first one right here, the distance around a circle. So if I'm going around the circle right here, starting at one point on the circle and going all the way to where I started, that is called the circumference. The next one, the distance from any point on the circle to the center. So you can pick any point on the circle and go to the center. That is called the radius. This is also half of the diameter. The next one, the distance across a circle when traveling through the center. So the center right here, that is your diameter. The diameter is also 2 times the radius. This right here could be the radius from any point on the circle to the center. And last but not least, a chord is just a line that links 2 points on the circle, and we won't really get into that right now in 7th grade. So let's talk about circumference. Again, circumference is the distance all the way around the outside of a circle. If you start at one point and trace the circle all the way around, that distance is the circumference. There are 2 formulas that you can use to find circumference. The first one is circumference equals pi times diameter, or you can use circumference equals 2 pi r, which is radius. Just make a note right here. Pi is the ratio of the circumference to the diameter. It is an irrational number. It goes on and on forever. It starts with 3.14. There is a button on your calculator that I want you to use when you are rounding an answer using pi. So find that on your calculator right now. Okay, so there's 2 ways that we can find circumference. We can either use our pi button and round to the nearest 10th or 100th, whatever the problem tells you to do, or you can leave your answer in terms of pi. I'm going to show you how to do both of those. So if we look at this circle right here, we have a line. It's all the way across the circle that goes through the center. So this is the diameter. So we know that our diameter of this circle is 14 inches. So I am going to use the formula that includes diameter. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write the formula. This is step 1. The second step is to plug in what you know. So we have C, or circumference, equals pi, and then our diameter is 14 inches. On our calculator, we're going to hit the pi button for pi, and then we're going to write times, or 1/4 for 14, or you can just write pi 1/4 because your calculator knows that you're multiplying there. You will get a long answer, as many digits as your calculator can give you. We'll round this to the nearest 100th. So this is going to be 43.98. Make sure you're trying this on your calculator with me. Inches. Again, I rounded it to the nearest 100th place. So now let me show you what it looks like if you want to leave it in terms of pi. Same thing, you're going to write your formula. You're going to substitute in the dimensions that you know. In this case, it's 14 inches. And you are going to leave pi in your answer. We're going to leave that right there. Typically, we will put the number first. So there's nothing to multiply 14 by. So we're just going to write 14 pi. And then this is in inches. Let's try this again with the next circle right here. And you can see this line does not go all the way across the circle. That means this is the radius. So I know that my radius here is going to be 10 yards. We're going to start with the rounding category. So this time I am going to use the formula that has radius in it because I know what the radius of the circle is. You can use either one though. You can say, well, if my radius is 10, then I know my diameter is 20. That is fine, and use the other formula. So we have 2 pi r right here. Formula, then I'm going to substitute in what I know, and I know that the radius is 10 yards. I am going to plug this in my calculator. 2 times pi, using the pi button, times 10. Again, it's going to give me as many digits as my calculator can give me. Let's round this to the nearest hundredth. So this is going to be 62.83 yards. So leaving in terms of pi, let me show you what that looks like. 2 pi r is my formula. Again, we're going to substitute in what we know, and I know that my radius is 10 yards. So right here, I am going to multiply everything but the pi. I'm going to leave pi in my answer. That's what it means to leave in terms of pi. 2 times 10 is 20. And I have my pi. Again, I'm leaving it right there, and I know this is in yards. So right here, these two answers right here are my unrounded answers. And the problem will tell you if they want you to leave it in terms of pi or they want you to round it.